Всем привет, друзья! Продолжаем проходить до Консилиум. Вот, я не знаю, как собрание, короче. Собрание, Консилиум, консул. Кто как хочет, кто кончил называет. Короче, нам нужно переубедить Мануэля Гадоя. Ну, бля, как его переубедить, я не знаю. Его сначала нужно было бы найти. А где его найти, я хз. Ну, я реально не знаю, где его найти. Ну-ка, что тут с картой? Блин, я тут вообще плутаю, блин, не знаю. А главное, никого вроде нет, не у кого спросить, не видел ли кто его. Может, он в саду шарится. Может, мне туда пойти, где... Ну, я реально не знаю, куда. Куда пойти, куда податься. Так, это там, где мы загадку, да? Разгадывали с этими, блин. С этой Библией, блин. Но это мы здесь были. Здесь этот жандарм живет. Ну, не жандарм, а судья революции или кто. Слушайте. Это этот стоит. Может, надо было на балкон там тоже выйти. Она и выходила там на балкон, вроде же. Давайте с ним переговорим.
Leave me, Dorishe. I don't feel like talking.
Your door was ajar, and well, given the state of your room, I was worried.
It's none of your business.
Very well. I'll leave you then. See you tomorrow, monsieur.
Не твой, говорит, бизнес. Так, это наша. Наполеон.
A Bazant. French actor Talma is Nero in Britannicus. The amber crystals.
My dear Napoleon, as previously agreed, I would like to ask you to join us in January on my island to participate in the High Society meeting organized for the occasion. We shall be able to continue our discussion about our project for a new order for France. I have a proposition to make to you concerning your wish to put a strong leader at the head of France. I trust you to be discreet as to your coming. See you soon. Lord William Mortimer.
Привет, я-то. Спасибо за лайк. Так. Да, ты откуда знаешь? Не, реально заказала. Да блин, что-то знаешь, потом... Короче, я заказала, предзаказала, да. Потому что я посмотрела... В Америке уже, блин, 2000 уже просят. То есть у них квоты, ну, квоты исчерпали. И уже, блин, ну, которые по $500. Все, нет предзаказов. И теперь уже за 1500, за 2 только можно. Я с этим, ну, с дисководом, с приводом. Потому что без привода, во-первых, уже нет. Я думаю, что, ну, эти сами продавцы уже, ну, как бы раскупили, потом будут, ну, барыжить. У них же скидки, как у сотрудников, ну, сети, да, вам видео, там, я знаю, там где-то 10%. Потом будут барыжить 1000 по 40. 6000 наварят. По 6000 наварят, вот. Ну, я, короче, заказала, ну, ты понял, да, с этим, с приводом. Ну, у меня диски же есть, как бы. Ну, и все равно я время от времени, ну, диски беру, как бы. Там разница 7000. Я решила, что, блин, не такая уж она существенная. Тем более, блин, диджитал уже нет приставок. Ну, блин, по 40 будут, да, без... Ну, это и мое предположение, видишь, опять же. Ну, потому что уже нигде нет диджитал. Хотя они по дизайну, они мне больше нравятся. И вообще цифра как бы удобнее. Ну, вот. Ну, не знаю, короче. Я сколько отдала, получается? Ну, 46 000. Полную предоплату в видео. А как бы откладывала, конечно. Ну, блин, там еще с кредитки взяла. 20-ку, вот, получилось. Сейчас, блин. Буду вкладывать. Сначала это сделала предзаказ, потом думаю, вот дура. Да, полную. Полную предоплату внесла. Ну, видишь, это предзаказ такой, что, блин, за 5 штук. Да, там тоже был такой предзаказ. Я сначала тоже думала, его в корзину кинула. Потом почитала, что это предзаказ не гарантирует по той стоимости, которая сейчас есть. 5000. Не гарантирует. То есть, если цены повысятся к релизу, тем более сейчас скидка, они дали скидку 1000 рублей. Она вообще так 46 990 стоит, а сейчас 45 990 продают. Ну, за 46 000. Вот. Не гарантирую. Если вдруг цены, ну, поползут, да, но это вполне как бы, ну, ожидаемо. Просто я почитала, там много всего. На релизе сейчас могут и поползти цены. То есть эти 5000 войдут в стоимость, но не гарантируют по вот этой цене, которая сейчас приставку тебе. А если ты полную стоимость отдал, то тебе гарантированно по этой стоимости, а приставка будет. Ну вот как-то так. Да, там есть по 5К предзаказа, по 5000. Я, короче, что-то думала, думаю, блин, какая разница, сейчас я эти отдам, или потом я отдам, какая же разница. Ну, короче, полную стоимость отдала, все. Ну, сейчас, думаю, быстренько 20-ку эту закину на кредитку, да и все. Там 50 дней, тем более, как сказать, льготный период. Только я не помню, от какого числа он у меня, ну, пофиг. Я думаю, быстро рассчитаюсь, да и все, делов-то. Все равно, блин, ну, как сказать, раз решила брать, то чё тянуть. Вот. Ну, тем более, если комп покупать, то, блин, он гораздо дороже стоит, даже ноутбук. Около 70 там, блин. Просто, знаешь, думаю, что, блин, и Сонька до 70 подскочит. Сейчас вот эти квоты по предзаказу разойдутся. Как бы Москва, Питер, там уже все, мне кажется. Там уже, блин, вот регионы еще как бы, ну, есть. Есть, можно предзаказ сделать. Ну, так вот в том-то и дело, что ноутбук дороже. Опять же, видишь, блин, игры дорогие, блин, я посмотрела, Demon Souls 5 с чем-то стоить будет. Ну, а что делать? По скидке игры можно брать. А, ну Demon Souls будет на релизе. Это круто.
My dear Napoleon.
Ну и 99% игр будет по обратной совместимости. Слушай, крутяк прям. Ну что-то, напомнишь, в ролике как бы было, типа, там, ну, приписка и на ПК, типа, доступно будет. А потом, ну, Sony опровергли эту информацию, что, типа, нифига на ПК, хрен вам. Ну вот не знаю, блин, почему тогда приписка, ну, в рекламном ролике была, что там, я прям сама видела, что ПК тоже версия. Фиг знает. Ну и знаешь, я думаю, что если даже они и выпустят на ПК, то это будет там через пару лет. Ну а что, там же можно геймпад купить от Xbox, от того же, да и от Соньки же, я так поняла, пока, ну, подходит. У меня, видишь, просто нет ПК. У меня нет ПК, поэтому я думаю, ну блин, не знаю. Да и вообще оптимизация вот эта на ПК, как бы, я так поняла, что там с Horizon-то, что там победили, нет с оптимизацией. Или такая же лажа. Поэтому, ладно, блин, что, один раз живем, блин, ну, пока работа есть, блин. Решила, короче, взять на релизе. Но я на релизе никогда, кстати, не брала. Я вот эту взяла, ну, хотя она у меня первая ревизия, но я взяла ее с рук. Да, Поттер, кстати, тоже крутая финалка. Финалка явно будет, блин, ну, русифицирована, хотя бы субтитры, да, и это, блин, я прям посмотрела офигенно. Но еще God of War будет в 2021 году. Круто. Здорово. Слушай, ну а ты что думаешь брать? Будешь брать, нет? Не выйти от шинов. Летом, да? Понятно. Ну, то есть через год, да, грубо говоря. Ну, тогда уже цены будут нормальные, мне кажется. Ну, оптимальные. Если ничего не случится с долларом.
Lovely damask blade. It's marked with the initials of the manufacturer in Versailles. My dearest son, I'm writing to implore you to act quickly. The situation is rapidly worsening here. Paoli continues to steer our motherland, Corsica, toward
Короче, ну, я так подумала, решила, что ситуация, блин, в стране нестабильная, блин. Хрен с ним возьму. Продать всегда можно, даже на релизе, ну, мне придет консоль. Если вдруг там что-то какие-то непредвиденная какая-то ситуация, ну и продам ее подороже. Да, у меня тоже, блин, затраты, блин. Короче, ладно, ничего страшного. Ну, знаешь, еще уже решила, я в отпуск пошла и думаю, ну, блин, я же все равно никуда не поехала, не потратилась на путевку, так что можно эти деньги как бы потратить на Соньку.
So, Bonaparte is going to publish a book that he didn't write. That crafty little rascal. It isn't signed. That's some quality paper. And that handwriting, I'd say it's Mortimer's.
У тебя летом, да, день рождения? Не, ну правильно. Чё?
Hannibal crossing the Alps. Another military success. Why do I get nothing but visions of horror in my room? And he gets victory at The Prince by Machiavelli. A perfect read for anyone with a surfeit of ambition. That might come in handy.
Ну-ка, к чему он устойчив? Убеждение политика. Блин. Ну, от матери, да?
Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost. My dearest son, I'm writing.
Так, это все про сына мы читали здесь. Монет никаких. А, вот монета. Так знаешь, я еще взяла, чека нет и нет, нет и нет. Ну, я одно обращение написала, мне звонят, сам видео, типа, да чек, типа, не предусмотрен никакой электронный, хотя вот мне там было написано, ну, когда я заказ сделала, что в течение 30 минут по смс-ке придет чек, электронный чек. Вот, да то тоси-боси, короче, вот придете, когда за товаром, тогда и вам и чек выпишут. Прикинь. Ну, я что-то думала, блин, подумала, думаю, ну, не, нифига так не пойдет еще там ВКонтакте. Смотрю тоже, ну, многим там не было чека, потом отправили. Ну, думаю, напишу еще одно обращение, чтобы мне чек предоставили. Ну, и через 3 минуты чек прислали. И там, знаешь, НДС 7600, прикинь. Ну, развод реально, блин. Ну, прислали вот сейчас чек. Я говорю, ну как не должно быть чека об оплате, если, блин, я отдала почти 50 тысяч рублей. Ну, короче, прислали они чек, и вот НДС 7600, офигеть. Это получается, ну, 38 тысяч консоль, да? А та и вообще 30-ку, наверное, даже 29 стоит. Диджитал. А ты какую будешь брать? Диджитал или с дисководом? Ну, с блюреем. С приводом, короче. Правильно. А, диджитал, да? Ну, вот как раз они, я думаю, появятся спокойно в продаже, блин. Потому что сейчас на них вообще ажиотаж. Как бы ценник-то вообще на них нормальный. Я тоже думала, потом думаю, не, возьму фиг с ним 7 тысяч. Ерунда. Тем более на релизе сейчас уже не взять ее.
Ah, Monsieur de Richet. You wouldn't have seen Duke Manuel by any chance, would you?
I was going to ask you the same question.
I wanted to speak to him, but no one will open the door. I'm not sure he's in there.
If I want to pass through, I'll have to get Volner out of the way.
Perhaps he didn't hear you. Did you try entering?
No, of course not. It would not be proper, after
Блин, не
all.
знаю, где его искать, эту тварь.
He won't let me by. I'll have to find another way of getting into the damned room.
Да мы уже там были, какого черта нам там еще делать? Сейчас через свою комнату пройдем.
Inferno by Dante. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here.
А это наша комнатуха. Так, ну а тут уже не выйти на балкон. Я не пойму, где его можно найти.
Maria Louisa of Parma. Although not Godoy's true love, the Queen is his benefactress according to some people. Prometheus, punished for stealing fire from the gods and giving it to man. Volner's probably still behind the door. I best go out through the balcony just in case.
Блин, я не пойму, где найти его можно. Ну, вот этого Мануэля Годоя. В комнате его, блин, нет. Его. Где он может быть? По другим я вроде везде прошлась. Вот этого, наверное, заело. Ну, блин, как мне найти-то его? Сейчас буду смотреть на ютубе. Либо в сад выйти. Сейчас в сад выйду. Все в сад. Попробую в сад куда-нибудь спуститься, что ли, потому что, ну, здесь я уже все комнаты обошла. И вот этот дятел Вуди, блин. Может, там можно будет спросить у кого-нибудь, может, кто-нибудь видел его? Слуги, допустим. Блин, я в Demon Souls очень хочу поиграть. Прям сильно. А, вот слуга стоит. Ну-ка.
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service day and night, sir.
Have you seen Duke Manuel?
The Duke is in the dining room, sir.
В столовой? А где у нас столовая? Здесь не столовая.
I would like to come in.
I am sorry, sir, but that is not possible for the moment.
Can you tell me where I can find Duke Manuel, please?
Alas, I do not know, sir. I can only assure you he is not in the small salon.
Ага, ну фиг, в столовую.
Very well.
Да, не буду
Thank
я
you.
вызнавать.
Good evening,
Сейчас
sir.
внутри тратить. А, вот она, столовая. То есть нам прямо. Ой, сейчас буду переубеждать, хоть бы хватило. Вот это что за значок? Уберу его. Есть бабочки летают. Так, а сколько у меня этих монет? 29. Мне последнюю монету осталось найти, надеюсь. Он играет? Точняк. Вроде накинется на меня тварь. Так, а здесь, может, есть какой-нибудь мед или что-нибудь? Утюг, да, кстати. Ну или какие-нибудь пассатижи там. Наручники и пассатижи. Как зубы ломать. Так, ну тут монет не вижу. Это клавесин какой-то.
Duke Manuel?
Well, well. Monsieur de Richet, I was not
Канардом не
expecting you.
похоже.
I am not in the mood, sir, I warn you. What do you want from me, sir?
I I see you're still feeling under pressure. Since your arrival, I've noticed that you've been on the defensive. It seems to me that Monsieur Peru has a knack for getting your back up.
That is the least you can say. Indeed, I was warned. I knew what to expect. For God's sake, why in the hell did your people execute their king? Have the French gone stark raving mad? There are nothing but monarchies in power in Europe. They will all come crashing down on you.
We shall see. It might, well, turn out to be the opposite.
You certainly do not lack for audacity, young man. Just tell me one thing, monsieur. Why did you side with Mortimer? He is alone, isolated. The United States can do nothing to help you, and France is surrounded by over 10 countries, just waiting for the word to pounce. Really, I do not see why you choose Mortimer.
Так, а как мы слабость-то увидим? А, вот
The
здесь
Golden Order,
слабость.
my friend. The Order is everywhere. We come from France. We are
Ага,
present in the United
воспользовались
States,
слабостью.
England,
Отлично.
and many other countries. We have ambitions and the means to carry them out.
Так, какая слабость у него? Так, где он, господи? Вот он, Мануэль, Годой. Оккультизм слабость.
You'll see, once all hell breaks out and your English support starts to fade away. The Order is an international organization. It matters little what governments do. Otherwise, why would Mortimer have gone to the trouble of inviting my mother?
If you are right, Sir Gregory has got it all wrong. Tell me, do you really believe Spain has any interest in ceding Louisiana to France?
Duke Manuel, for Spain, I don't know. But for you, I'm convinced that Lord Mortimer will thank you generously.
You would not be trying to bribe.
Так, еще какая слабость у него? Манипулирование.
Nothing could be further from my mind. It would be an insult to believe that someone such as yourself might have a practical attitude towards its virtue. Even so, it is only natural that you be supported and encouraged if you were to follow Lord Mortimer, isn't it?
Indeed, for services rendered, it would be natural for me to receive compensation for the time spent achieving such an undertaking, yes?
Naturally. And, given your status, my Lord Duke, the compensation would have to be considerable.
Naturally. Tell me one last thing. What would I gain from all this?
Блин, к шантажу сейчас прибегну, а вдруг нифига не получится. Так, оккультизм, манипулирование. Устойчивость неизвестна, да?
If you continue with home, our two countries will become rivals. It could turn into war. Who knows?
It is likely even.
A war, Duke Manuel, on our own territories. Do you really see yourself committing the Kingdom of Spain to an armed conflict against France? Can you imagine the financial investment required, not to mention the loss of lives and dishonor at the slightest defeat? Do you see yourself being the man responsible for that?
No, but you are the one who's pushing me into it, you damned Frenchman!
I'm not pushing you into anything, Duke Manuel. If you are a man of the future and of progress, as I'm given to believe, you will know how much suffering a war would bring.
Come on, you fool, give it up. You're trapped like a rat.
Monsieur, I am astounded. I did not think you capable, but you have succeeded. I will be more wary of you the next time. Nonetheless, if you can guarantee Lord Mortimer's support, then yes, you can count on my vote when the time comes. However, I expect you to be discreet with regard to my former partners, without which our agreement will become null and void.
Of course, my Lord Duke. You can count on me. Lord Mortimer will be delighted to hear the news.
I hope you know what you are getting into, Louis. I bid you good luck.
Good night, my Lord Duke.
See you tomorrow. Well, that's one thing out of the way. Only thing left to do is wait for the conference to resume tomorrow morning.
Блин, надо было сразу у слуги-то спросить, где этот. Кстати, у меня сейчас 1 минуту, по-моему, гарнитура села. А этот все долбится придурочный. Так, нет, он в другую сторону. Дятел.
Ah, Monsieur de Richet. You wouldn't have seen Duke Manuel by any chance, would you?
No, I'm sorry. I don't know where he is.
Ah, very well. I shall wait for him in that case.
Жди. А чё долбится, придурочный? Тебе ж никто не открывает.
Good evening, Monsieur le Français.
Duchess, you're here. What a charming surprise. I'm beginning to think you can't be without me.
You have managed to penetrate my armor, sir. Am I disturbing you, perhaps?
That's not what I said.
Ah, by the way, you surprised me during the conference.
Why's that?
Well, you are going to lose. Why stay with Lord Mortimer?
I believe he has every chance of winning.
My, you are a rash one. However, if ever you want to change sides, please feel free to let me know.
But tell me, you didn't come here to try and make me change my mind, did you?
That's the last thing on my mind, although you would have everything to gain by it.
Do you perhaps know something that I don't? Come on, Emily. It's time you lay your cards on the table. If you know something I don't about Lord Mortimer, now's the time.
I don't want to speak ill of him, but in certain circles, you can't exactly say he has a good reputation.
Continue.
Well, there have been instances where he has used people, then gotten rid of them once he no longer seemed to need them, Louis. He makes fine promises, makes you feel valuable, tests you. But beware. I'm worried that something might happen to you.
Are you advising me to change sides as a precaution?
I'd rather say as a safety measure. Louis, if you trust me, you ought to ask yourself why I have chosen home. You do trust me, don't you?
Of course, Emily.
Admit, though, that it does make you think. There's still time, you know. Join us, before it's too late.
Unfortunately, my word is my bond. I don't want to leave Lord Mortimer in the lurch.
Very well, as you wish. It's up to you to decide.
Tell me, are these visits to Mortimer's always so intense?
Yes and no. My sister doesn't normally disappear like she has. Any news of your mother?
А какой проступок? Нет, давайте. Мы ничего не узнали.
Still nothing. No.
Very well. Can we change subject, please? I didn't come here to go through all that again.
Of course, it's late. You're right.
Какие у нее приемы. Сейчас все выведает. Тварь такая. Лошара, блин.
My friends, do not worry. I assure you that Lord Mortimer's plan will never see the light of day. I shall deal with informing our allies, but for the time being, I need you to make a stand.
What do you think about Monsieur de Richet?
I don't know yet. I feel there's great potential in him. He looks like he can be trusted. And Duchess Hillsborough. Why
Ну не
isn't
говори,
she?
это да.
She's busy. Don't worry about her.
Oh, isn't it time to replace her?
Not so fast, sir. She is an important figure. You ought to have a little more faith in her. What are we going to do about Washington? He will be a hard nut to crack. On our chessboard, he is Mortimer's king. Don't worry. Mr. President only wants one thing. To keep his dear America united. He won't jeopardize everything he has achieved on a whim. He has been serving Mortimer for quite some time. It won't be easy to bring him around. Do you feel all right, Mr. Godoy? You haven't said a word.
Please excuse me, gentlemen. I feel tired.
Oh, I see. I think it is high time you left us then. Now!
Глюк, короче, словил. Но он это худой. А, или тот старик? Или вот этот наш герой?
Emily? Emily? Are you there?
Sir, the conference is about to begin. You are expected in the conference room.
Tell them I'm coming. Thank you.
Come on, Louis. The game is back on.
My friends, the conference is about to begin. Please excuse me if I troubled you last night with my project. I understand that you might well have a few questions to ask. As you know, the final vote will be cast in a few days. This morning's aim is to answer your questions and check the temperature of your respective positions so that we may reach a greater understanding.
As always, Lord Mortimer. We parted in perfect disagreement, my lord. Where would you like us to take it from?
Come, sir. Please let William believe he still has a chance of winning us over. Otherwise, his imprecations will lack panache, and we shall be bored stiff.
Oh, let me assure you, I am convinced that a good night's sleep has brought sound advice, and that this morning will be even more interesting. Therefore, I would like to go around the table in order to hear everyone's first impressions.
Well, I am still firmly against it, even though my choice won't count.
Against.
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 And you, Duke Manuel?
Well, you see, it is more complicated and it...
Godoy?
Calm, Gregory. Don't try to impress my guests, please.
They are not your guests.
Gregory, anyone under my roof is by definition my guest. You included. I would be very grateful if you would let my guests speak. Duke Manuel, you were saying you still had some doubts?
Well, you see, the situation has changed since last night.
What's going on here, my Lord Duke?
You see, I gave it some thought during the night. New arguments have come to light.
What do you mean, Duke Manuel?
Sir Gregory, I regret to inform you that Spain will not support you in this operation. I vote for. Moreover, in response to arguments brought to my attention, I declare war on France.
What? What is he doing?
If you think France is afraid of you, you are dreaming.
Over 10 nations rise against you, young man, and you behave like a yapping little dog?
When the French armies are at your door, my Lord Duke, you will change your tune. Well, as for me, I am for Lord Mortimer's project, despite Duchess Hillsborough's overwhelmingly convincing nocturnal attentions.
What? So Emily was playing at trying to win over guests last night?
It was nothing more than a friendly little chat, of course.
How could it be otherwise? And by the way, remember me to your husband when you see him. And you, President Washington, what is your position?
4, of course.
Well, that leaves just yourself and Monsieur Peru, Louis.
You're all making me sick. Look at yourselves.
What?
You are pathetic!
Have you been drinking or what?
There you are, quibbling away. My Lord Duke this, and Madame Duchess that. You know very well that we're nothing but puppets on a damn string.
Jacques, Camille.
Let's end the charade. It's over.
Jacques.
My lord, thank you for everything you've done for me over the years. But it didn't come for free. And now I see the price is too high to pay. I'll stop.
Come, Jacques, we'll talk it over.
No, I'm finished. I want my freedom back, my lord. I shall no longer work for you.
Wait!
Dorishe, you just can't help it, can you? Stop trying to play the hero, man!
Monsieur, I know I don't really know you, but you seem like a decent person.
I have done so many horrible things!
You blame yourself, I can see that. Everything's not lost.
I don't want to do bad things anymore.
You can take control of yourself again. You can fix whatever it is you've done.
Do you really believe that?
Of course, Jacques. You'll have all the time you need. Look. You've done as much as you can. You have nothing to fear. Your daughter is safe.
Shut up!
Да блин, зачем я это сказала, блядь? Вот я дура дурой. Придурочная, блядь. Блин, фак. Да, уже все. Ну, страшно, да, у него еще видел с глазом. Так, ладно, хрен с ним. Ну, могла я его спасти. Или манипулирование надо. Подожди, ну-ка. А, мне нужно какое-то что-то докачать до 5-го уровня. Блин, точки слева внизу фиг знает. Вот эти, что ли? Загрузка, нет? Слушай, я не посмотрела. Выпал трофей, игра с огнем. Сейчас, минутку. Что-то сообщение прослушаю, пока загружается.
I don't understand. I spoke to him only recently.
Monsieur Peru has lost his mind. It's obvious.
Yet another way for the French to make a spectacle of themselves. Well, once again it has worked.
My friends, let us settle down, please. We are all in shock, of course. Let us praise Louis's gesture anyway. You did what you could.
Yes, it was very noble of you, Louis.
It wasn't your fault.
There was nothing else you could have done. I think everyone needs a little rest. Can you stay a moment?
Of course.
Опять. Блин, ну сейчас зайду туда, посмотрю. А, внизу слева. Вот эти, да, ромбики, вот эти слева, да? Но это вот чтобы всякие, ну, навыки применять. Чтобы применить навык, должно быть, ну, допустим, каждый навык там сколько-то стоит, 3 вот этих точки, там 5, 1. Вот сейчас, если с ним будем болтать, я тебе покажу.
Louis, I wanted to talk to you a moment about what has happened. All this is tragic, but I wanted to thank you for doing what you could.
I wasn't able to save him.
You couldn't, Louis. You mustn't blame yourself.
А там надо
It is
подбирать
not your
мед.
fault.
Вот этот вот, видишь, внизу. Мед. Вот видишь, чтобы мне ответить вот так, да, нужно 2 вот этих точки использовать. Видишь? Можно еще использовать вот эту. Тогда точки не уйдут. Сейчас посмотрю, что у него. А у него не видно никаких этих. А я вот так отвечу. Хрен с ним.
I guess it was too late. Don't torture yourself. Look what you've done. I admire what you did. Who else among all these great luminaries of the modern world even raised a finger? No one. You were the only one who tried to do anything. What a waste.
What are your plans now?
What do you mean?
For the conference. After the disappearances of both Elizabeth Adams and my mother, and now the death of Mr. Perlu, I should imagine that your guests are all packing their bags.
This might come as a bit of a shock to you, perhaps because it was so difficult to bring all these figures together. But I am convinced that none of them is preparing to leave.
And you endorse that? For God's sake, that's totally immoral.
Morality and politics don't go well together, my boy. Like water and oil, they cannot mix. By definition, politics is not immoral as much as it is amoral. It must not take into account any morality that would constitute a hindrance. Otherwise, it could not be free to make tough decisions.
Do you realize what you just said?
It's a question of duty, Louis. Look, morality evolves over time and differs depending on the habits and customs of each country. It must not be a criterion. What we are doing here, Louis, will change the very face of the world. I'm not saying it's easy, but it is our duty. The future is in motion, and nothing must stop it.
If you say so, allow me to take my leave, please.
Of course. You ought to get some rest. Oh, Louis, one more thing, please. I wanted to thank you for your support during the conference. You've made the right choice, and it gives me tremendous satisfaction to have you with me on this project.
what is at stake is worth it, my lord. Now, I won't hide from you the fact that I have no idea by what miracle we could ever get a unanimous vote.
Trust me, Louis. We still have a few more cards to play. You'll see. Anything can happen in politics.
I'll see you later, my lord.
I'll see you later, Louis.
A Chinese coin, recognizable by the hole in the middle. If I remember rightly, that's called a cash.
Блин, как я так этого не спасла. Ну ладно. За него, наверное, ачивка давалась. Ладно. Все равно надо будет кое-какие моменты перепройти. Так, у меня 4, да, этих ромбика. А меда нет. Никто мед не оставил, пока меня не было. А чё, кстати, Крайзис вышел, нет? Ремастер. Чё тут? Так, сейчас, минуту. Не знаешь? Я просто смотрю стрим, это просто Татьяна хотела его сильно поиграть в эту игру. А я вот думаю по мафию. Нифига, мафия 2800 стоит. Ну, ремастер, да? Мне кажется, проще трилогию купить за 3700. Что-то они сильно подняли цену. Тоже мафию хочешь? Ну, я бы, блин... Ну, я хочу и во вторую поиграть, хотя она мне на Xbox есть. Но, блин, не знаю. Охота на Sony платину выбить во второй мафии. Третья-то у меня есть мафия. Ее по плюсу раздавали, и она у меня как бы и есть. Короче говоря, не знаю. Если сейчас мне за Соньку начислят бонусные баллы, я, может, тогда трилогию возьму диск, да и все. Сколько там? 3700 он стоит, минус там где-то 1600. За 2000, блин, трилогию нормально. Потом обменяю, да и все. Наверное, так сделаю. Посмотрю, короче говоря. Ну, что-то охота в мафию поиграть. Хотя говорят, что она не очень, так, тоси-боси, блин. Не знаю. Я хочу в мафию поиграть.
impossible to tell with you people.
Yes, sir.
Your guest
Что
is
там
not
происходит?
sufficient. Tell the others, for crying out loud. Remember to close my window once you've done my room. This isn't Corsica, you know. I'm freezing.
Of course, sir. I'll see to it straight away.
Good. Proceed.
Yes, sir.
Что ты там устроил, Бонапарт? Сейчас мы тебя тоже пошантажируем.
Don't feel guilty over Monsieur Peru. You did your best. We just lost a vote for the next conference, and we already had fewer votes than Holm. I must absolutely find a solution.
Excuse me, sir, but given recent events, I find it somewhat cavalier to return to your political preoccupations so quickly.
Yes, I know. You must find me inhumane. But what can I do? We are here to decide upon the fate of our nations, Louis. It is time you realize what is at stake here. I hold nothing against Monsieur Peru personally, but what concerns me most right now is to not lose sight of the objectives of this meeting. In short, we haven't a minute to lose. I'll leave you now.
Just a minute. What did Duchess Hillsborough propose last night?
Oh, nothing worth worrying about. The pretty little pudding eater found no better tactic than to threaten me. She would have been better off sliding into my bed. At least we wouldn't have wasted part of the night
То есть они не спали, да?
Threatened you, you say?
That's what I said. I think I'm going to have to be careful of English troops crisscrossing the Mediterranean for a while. The witch would let loose the wrath of the English crown on my august person. But if she thinks that would scare a Bonaparte, she is mistaken. Now, Louis, time is running short, and as I said, I'm in a hurry. I have to go now. I will see you later.
Так, что-то меда нет. Мед-то бы мне понадобился. Так, не то. Ну-ка, может здесь? Здесь чья комната? Библиотека, поди опять. Нет. А, это как раз Бонапарта нет комнаты. Чья комната-то это?
My dearest son,
Да,
I'm
Бонапарта.
writing to implore you to act quickly.
Привет, Hero Games.
Next time, I'll listen to my mother. Not a day has gone by without something happening to me. What now?
Блин, запарили. Ходят и ходят.
Louis, open up, please.
Coming, Mr. President, I'm coming.
Louis. Ah, there you are at last.
Yes,
I just saw your mother. She was accompanied by Emily, and they both went into the Duchess's room. I tried to join them, but I was refused entry. Louis, this does not bode well.
Нифига себе.
Shit.
Вот это да.
You might want to avenge your sister. I
Так, а
must
что с
act
чатом?
quickly. You're right, Mr. President. Thank you.
Игнорить, да, надо?
Monseigneur, His Eminence
Я не
Cardinal
помню, где ее комната. Мне показалось, чат завис. Мне как бы на Соньке отображается же. Так, это Вашингтона. Не знаю, что. А, это этой сумасшедший. Ну-ка, а что здесь лежит? Монета, что ли?
All right. I've retrieved everything.
Все, сейчас... А, золотой эликсир. Я думала, монета. Что-то у меня есть еще бутылки какие-нибудь.
My dear Elizabeth.
Так, это я читала. Бутылок не видать. Вроде вот это ее комната.
Monsieur Johann van Vulna.
Нет. Йогана. Блин, как же так я не спасла того. За него, походу, ачивку должны были дать. А, о, ну-ка.
Monsieur Jacques Perru. Monsieur Jacques Perru.
I am sorry, sir, but you are unable to access Monsieur Peru's room while we gather his personal effects.
Это который застрелился. Перу. Блин, табличку хотела прочитать. Бонапарта, блин. А, вот ее.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
I do believe that's Emily's voice. I can't understand what she's saying. I can't open it. It must be blocked on the other side. I'll have to find another way in, quick.
Не, стучаться не буду. Через балкон пробую.
I have to get inside Emily's room through the... Shit! It's locked.
Вот здесь взламывай. Там дверь, блин.
No way. It's too sturdy.
В смысле сил у тебя не хватает? Полудурок, блин. Выходи.
Damn it. It's closed. Seems like the key is still in the lock on the other side.
Давай.
That means I won't be able to pick it. Or I could do as I did the last time in the tower.
Да, давай так поступим.
I wonder if I can get the key by pushing something underneath and making it fall. I wonder if I can get the key by pushing something underneath and making it fall. Slowly, Louis. Nice and slow. It's not a very complex lock. I'm sure I can force it if I can just find something to smash it with.
Не, надо... У тебя ж есть магнит придурочный. Открывай.
I must act fast.
It's as if there are several people inside.
Once again, you're the one who's the victim in all this. What are you on about now? I should never have told you what happened to me.
A letter from William Pitt the Younger addressed to
I'm not
him.
that naive.
He's the present Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
Сколько у меня монет этих?
Stop.
He only has indeed some powerful backers.
Так, сейчас здесь.
Madam, thank you for consoling the Queen. The King's situation is worsening, but I wager he'll recover from this present fit. Next time you speak with Her Majesty the Queen, would you please be so kind as to ask her to look into my petition to raise taxes with the King? I will Two coils circle the lock.
Dear Gregory, thank you for the information. I've managed to find out about the names you gave me. George Washington is a man you can trust. In spite of his obvious talent for politics, he has remained upright and honest. On the other hand, as you may well know, he is already doing business with Lord Mortimer. It will be more difficult to approach him. Napoleon Bonaparte was unknown to me until today. He's a passionate young French soldier for whom Mortimer predicts a promising future. Take heed. He is a man of conviction, which to my mind makes him potentially dangerous. As for Sarah de Richet, what more is there to say? You already know each other. She was apparently invited by Lord Mortimer about an ongoing matter in Paris that concerns a receiver in stolen art. See you soon. Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
All right. I've retrieved everything.
A letter from William Pitt the Elder addressed to Emily. He was the English Prime Minister. This letter dates from 15 years ago now. Madam, I shall never...
Блин, он же начал читать уже его. Ладно.
A letter from William Pitt the Younger addressed to Emily. He's the present Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Emily has indeed some powerful backers. Madam, thank you for consoling the Queen.
Привет. Что-то все, квест закончила свой.
Next time you speak with Her Majesty the Queen, would you please be so kind as to ask her to look into my petition to raise taxes?
Слушайте, этот стримит уже.
I will personally see to it that our nation will recover from this impasse.
Крайзис.
King George's mental situation is slowing
Что, он
down
вышел,
our
что ли?
decision-taking. Thank you in advance for all your help. William Pitt, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom of Great Britain.
Что взяли? Блин, да как нет места, не пойму. А, через 2 часа закончишь. Понятно. Так, а дома будешь неизвестно, да, как через сколько. Ну, я в плане того, когда мы сможем поиграть.
A devil's thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits.
А, и корицы эти взяли. Не пригодятся. Давай, Сис, давай. Удачи тебе.
What on earth is... You... Mother?
How dare you do this to me? You can talk. After everything I've done for you. You are joking, I hope.
Right?
I gave you my life. That's enough, Emma. Now that Louis is here, you will leave Sarah alone. Cease your revenge immediately. What? If you think you're going to... Louis, help me, I beg you. I can no longer reason with her. I am Emily. Quit playing games. What? Honestly, don't be ridiculous. No. I am Emily. You are wasting your time. Louis knows very well how to tell us apart. After everything we've been through together.
Блин, а как их различить?
Don't you dare bring him into this. This is between you and me. I ask for nothing more, so stop taking it out on Sarah. You prissy little bitch. How dare you? Now that I've told you everything, you want to take my place, do you? You are joking, I hope. I'm the one who told you everything that's been going on while you were away. Go on then. That's what you want, isn't it? You want to kill me. Go on then, shoot. After all the trouble I've gone through to find you. Go on. What are you waiting for? Here, Louis, take this.
Wait, what's going...
An entire life for this. Go on, shoot. Sorry, Louis, I can't shoot her. She's my sister. That's enough, Emma. Louis, out of the way. She's dangerous. Don't trust her. What are you trying to do? Louis, out of the way. I am not Emma. Come on, Louis, tell her who the real Emily is.
Wait,
That's right, Louis. I'm fed up with this little game. Tell him who the real Emily is.
Why do these things always happen to me?
Well, Louis, come on, you know how to tell us apart, right?
Yes, but I'd like to ask you a few questions to make sure there's no doubt.
Rational and open, Louis. Let's see. How can I tell them apart? Wait, I've got an idea.
On the night of our arrival,
Блин, я не помню.
You handed me something. I wasn't feeling very well, and you handed me something. What was it?
My handkerchief, and you stained it with your blood. You still have it, as a matter of fact. But she already knows all this, Louis. It's a waste of time.
Right. Let's find something else. Ah, yes. Let's speak about my arrival at the manor.
Once at the manor, Sir Gregory introduced himself to us. Then, we split up into 2 groups. What group was I in?
It won't work, Louis. She knows already. I told her. Shut up. I'm the one who told you. You left with Sir Gregory and Cardinal Piaggi, and you ran into Miss Adams. I told you she knew.
Very well.
Let's try something else.
On the first night, we went up to bed, but I wasn't tired. I went for a little stroll. Do you remember if we saw each other that night or not?
Not at all. Don't think you're going to get away with this deception so easily. I can assure you, you're going to regret pretending to be me once Louis has exposed you.
Right. I don't think I'll get very far like this. I'll have to find something better.
Oh, I don't think I'll even wait until he's finished.
Take it easy now.
Are you mad, Louis?
Lower your arm.
I better act quickly if I don't want things to get out of hand.
Come on, she's putting one over on you. Look at yourself for crying out loud. You were prepared to shoot me down.
In the secret room behind the study. Talk to them about what you've been doing. Maybe they haven't spoken about it between each other yet.
On the night of the disappearance of Elizabeth Adams.
What about it? What do you want to know about that night?
Before going to bed, we found ourselves in an odd situation.
You surprised me searching through Mortimer's secret gallery. Behind the chimney. You were looking for clues about your mother. That's enough! I've had enough of this charade. Louis, there's only one way to tell us apart. There's just one thing I didn't tell her about in detail. Too bad for you, Emma. I didn't want it to come to this, but you leave me no choice. Ask her. About you and I. You just lost, Emma. I indeed didn't tell you everything about it. Come, Louis. Speak about our intimacy.
Very well. Let's talk about us.
Да блин, твари. Вы что меня путаете, а?
Describe last night, please.
Louis, it's embarrassing. You know full well what I did last night.
I want to hear you say it.
We spent it together, of course. What? I came to your room after the conference, and excuse me if I don't go into the details, but I was mightily impressed. What did you do? Look how you are reacting, Emma. It's not surprising I didn't tell you about my night with Louis. You slut!
That's enough, both of you. Now I know who the real Emily is.
You are Emily Hillsborough.
I knew you wouldn't get it wrong, Louis. No! You little bitch! Watch out, Louis! No!
Hell, what have I done?
See what you've done. See.
Louis? What on earth is going on?
Mother!
Go! You must leave. Everyone's going to arrive.
Louis, what's going on?
Duchess? Is everything all right?
Go! Go, Mother! No one must find you here.
Go.
Come, Louis. There's nothing more you can do.
But I...
Leave us.
Emily, what's going on?
Mother,
Блин, так
go
у
to
нее
the
руки
crypt.
правда
I'll meet
нет.
you there.
I'll be waiting for you.
Emily.
Madam, I'm coming in.
It was bound to end like this, Louis. Let me stay with her, please. Go, I'll cover you.
Так, в склепе, в склепе. Ну, пошлите в склеп. Он к Бонапарту заглядывает.
Good God! They're all here. They must have heard the gunshot.
Where is Lord Mortimer?
Can anyone hear anything through the door?
Did you hear that? I was not dreaming, was I?
Certainly not, Duke Godoy.
What's going on?
Someone had the bang coming from the Duchess's room, and she isn't answering. Gentlemen, go back to your rooms. Go back to your rooms. I shall find out from Lord Mortimer what this is all about. Thank you.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
My instructions are clear, sir. No one is to enter.
Тогда мы в склеп. Только я не помню, как туда попасть, блин, в склеп в этот. Так. Ну-ка, я этого спрошу.
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service day and night, sir.
As I was unable to bring my personal effects with me, I was wondering if you could find me a few items.
Of course, sir. What would you require?
A little Carmelite water would do me a lot of good. Could you find me some, please?
Oh, the tonics are under lock and key, sir. Lord Mortimer only allows access to them in cases of emergency.
Listen, I suffer from terrible migraines, and the voyage by boat has brought on my rheumatism. So, unless you have anything else to alleviate the pain, please give me some quickly. Thank you. Oh, and the one from Bordeaux, right? I prefer it to the one from Paris.
Immediately, sir. Here. I hope sir will get well again quickly. Anything else, sir?
Нет, я пока пойду. Хватит.
Lord Mortimer certainly has a taste for staging rooms.
Блин, да где же? Как сюда попасть-то, блядь? Я не помню. А, вот через этот наш выход. А здесь это, как сказать, обрыв. Так. В склеп-то сейчас страшненько идти. А зал собраний, библиотека. Давайте через зал собраний пройдем. Но я реально не знаю, как. Не, ну, ночь. Ночь же на дворе. Так, о, нашла наконец-то. Выход в сад.
amber crystals.
О, осколка янтаря. Еще 2 осколка найду, и у меня ячеек этих больше будет. Ну, блин, чтобы их заполнить, нужен мед, а мед редко попадается. Ну-ка, что у меня? Вообще ни одного меда нет.
Louis!
Бля, напугала меня тварь такая, мать.
Mother, wait,
Come, we have to be quick.
No, wait, Mother,
Time is running out, Louis. First, we must...
No! That's enough. I won't go a step further unless you explain to me what is going on here. I'm begging you. Talk to me.
You must trust me, my son. You are not ready yet.
You are the one who should trust me. Tell me
Но
what's
она, блин,
happening.
меня
You
напугала.
would never believe me.
I came all the way here for you. Now I've found you. I'm ready, Mother.
If only... Louis, I have always taught you to keep your mind open and logical. I know you are going to find it hard to believe, but what I am going to reveal to you is entirely true. Many years ago, I found out that demons really do live among us.
I beg your pardon?
And that they can influence our thoughts.
Mother, listen to yourself. I know you're exhausted, but for crying out loud, listen to what you're saying. Demons? What next? An ancient monster with a head like an octopus? What do your demons look like? Have they got horns and a pointed tail?
No, these are not creatures with billy goat's legs. Forget your Christian folklore. Imagine them more as parasitic spirits. They possess their hosts and direct them from inside.
Parasitic spirits?
Yes, they are capable of going from one body to another as they see fit. And 2 of them are present on this island.
Right. So let me guess. Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory, right?
You felt it too?
No, even if Home does look the part. But I don't know who else could do it, given that we're on their territory.
Many years ago, well before you were born, I crossed paths with one of them. Since then, I've spent my life trying to find it again. When we recovered the Alizif, I was persuaded that von Burchard was working for this demon in one way or another. But I thought he would hand the book to a middleman during this conference. That's where I made an error that could well turn out to be fatal. The one who Burchard was meant to give the book to was none other than the demon in person, Mortimer. Not to mention that Home had sent Volner to get it for him.
Home and Mortimer are demons?
They both seem to disagree about many things, but I'll admit I never knew exactly why. There are many of them, Louis, not just those 2.
Mother, have you any proof to support any of this?
Of course, but you do too. You had everything laid out in front of you. Didn't you notice anything?
Не, ну она, наверное, пугает, да? И меня пугает. Но она, не знаю, с ума сошла, не сошла. Ну, давайте.
I went beyond the nightmare, Mother.
You understood the Masonic date.
1191.
Of course! It was during that siege that the demon took possession of Sir Mortimer. They spent a whole night in conversation until the early hours of the morning. Mortimer had passed the test. He had charmed the demon, and so it chose him to be its host for centuries to come. But tell me, did you find his secret study?
I did indeed.
Did you see his maps of the world?
He has contacts the world over.
Yes, I've been developing the Golden Order across the world for many years, and I've never seen anyone with such influence. It's simply inhuman.
I must admit,
I found it difficult to understand how and why Mortimer didn't have a place in history.
On the continent, Mortimer and Home are mere dandies who organize society balls. History forgets them with a disconcerting facility. No one speaks about them, and yet they whisper in the ears of kings and presidents.
Так, сейчас минуту. Погнали дальше.
I came across his family tree in his study.
An only son.
Since the Third Crusade.
The fall of St. John of Acre, Louis. The fall of St. John of Acre.
Well, those property deeds across the world, all signed by the same hand and over several centuries.
I am proud of you, Louis.
I found your notes written in lemon juice.
Where all eyes size you up. At one stage, I was so afraid of losing my mind that I noted everything down. Congratulations, Louis. Wait, please tell me you didn't open Pandora's box.
The urn? Yes, I did. Why?
Too bad. We'll deal with it later.
I went beyond the Nightmare Mother.
You understood the Masonic date.
Блин, да я же про собрание хотела спросить.
Of course, it was during that
Как здесь пропускать вот это
that
все?
the demon took possession of Sir Mortimer. They spent a whole night in conversation until the early hours of the morning. Mortimer had passed the test. He had charmed the demon, and so it chose him to be its host for centuries to come. But tell me, did you find his secret study?
I did indeed.
Did you see his maps of the world?
He has contacts the world over.
Yes, I've been developing the Golden Order across the world for many years, and I've never seen anyone with such influence. It's simply inhuman.
Про собрание.
You mean the conference?
How can you explain that someone manages to bring together so many important figures without anyone knowing?
And without any security or personnel.
Так, ну все, я обо всем с ним
Louis,
поговорила.
I am proud of you. You came all this way. You found me. You have surpassed me.
You taught me everything I know. Right. How did it all begin?
I saw him.
What do you mean you saw him?
I was 20 years old. I was young and carefree. I traveled the world in search of adventure. In the Persian Gulf, we came across an ancient grimoire that became unlocked. Composed of 7 parts, each one was a book in itself, set in a sort of metal armor that structured the whole thing. When all the volumes were brought together, they formed a single book. On my return to Paris, I set to studying these pages. I spent all my days and nights studying them.
Oh, I can imagine you doing that.
But the writing was in a language I had never seen before, developed well before Sumerian, in my opinion. So I got the idea to form a small occult circle composed of all the major names in the occult world to see if anyone else could crack it.
And you found no one.
And I found someone, Louis. I found him. Or rather, he found me. He was young, charismatic. He was flamboyant.
You mean Mortimer?
He was a veritable mine of knowledge. I showed him the book, and he was able to decipher a few passages. We spent several months together studying the pages.
He was already old in those days, wasn't he? So you recognized him when you arrived on the island, right?
No, he wasn't in that body. But I know it was him. I swear it was him. The way he spoke, his posture, a few of his intonations, his mannerisms.
Wait a minute. You were talking about 60 years ago. I've lost the thread.
Ой, то есть наоборот
Yes, sorry.
получается.
He helped me understand certain passages until I realized that he only translated a few parts for me. But I had aroused his interest.
Тогда он и
It
был
was
это.
too late.
How so?
I mean to say he manipulated me. He used me, and in the end, he stole the book
Как
with
бы
all
этот
its
сынок
secrets.
не был
Did he ever
его
go to your
сынком.
place?
Not once. At least I don't think so. But before disappearing, he proposed a pact between us. He proposed that I follow him and let him teach me, allow him to bring me up.
And you accepted.
Please don't be stupid. You don't make deals with the devil. After that, I spent my whole life looking for him. 3 years later, in Berlin, I just missed him. In London, I lost 6 members of the order in a chase. In 1741, in Tunisia, I found a sect of fanatics who had crossed paths with him once. 1741, in Poland. 1749, in India.
8 years ago in Venice.
We agreed never to speak about what happened in Venice, Louis.
Блин, зря потратила эти якорицы, блин. Ну ладно.
For the moment, that is not the key issue here. Once we found the Al-Azif in Paris, I followed von Borchert's trail here. I didn't think it would lead me straight to the demon. It was careless of me. He toyed with me for a few days, until I caught on, until I saw him as he was. But he had no intention of letting me leave. We are all his pawns, Louis, and if we don't want to spend the rest of our lives turning round in circles here, we must absolutely get off this island. All right, can we move on?
Wait a minute. One last thing.
Давайте обо всем спросим.
I want to know what happened with Elizabeth Adams.
Louis, we haven't time for those details.
You're probably right. I want to know what happened between you and Emily's sister.
Great responsibility often brings difficult choices, Louis. That's all you need to know.
Mother, I won't take a step further if you don't answer me.
You dare blackmail me?
I'm listening.
All right, I used her. So there you are. Happy now? We had the Al-Azif, and I didn't think we would be able to escape with it. In order to ensure that the book did not fall into their hands, or that one of them couldn't read in us where we had hidden it, I asked Emily to...
It's Emma.
Yes, or rather for me, it was Emily. So I asked Emma to hide it without anyone seeing. And then I disposed of her. I am sorry for her, but she was part of the Golden Order, Louis. She knew the rules when she joined.
Мамочка-то тоже, блин, хороша. Так, давайте про
What was going on
Бонапарта.
with the cannons in Tuscany?
It was nothing.
Since when does the Order finance wars?
The cannons for that Bonaparte fellow? Listen, once in the lion's den, I did whatever I could to appear legitimate. So yes, I pretended to be interested in Mortimer's project about a young military man who was seeking funding for a foundry in Tuscany. Between you and me, if buying China would have enabled me to escape, I would have signed without hesitation.
Нифига у нее денег купить Китай. Молодец, тетенька. Так.
What did you negotiate about the Al-Azif with Volner?
Absolutely nothing. I managed to pull the wool over his eyes until I found a way to flee.
У меня есть еще вопросы.
Samuel Ritter du Choix, you wanted to send me a letter about Godoy.
I wanted you to run a check on Duke Manuel. But frankly, it doesn't really matter anymore now. Godoy is just a pawn like the others. He is not the one I was looking for.
On the evening of my arrival, Cardinal Piaggi came looking for you. He was determined to give you a letter.
More of his lists. Louis, I think I know what's in that letter, and I beseech you to believe that it is the least of our worries. We can sort that out later.
Are you going to tell me what happened to your hand?
Better than that. I shall show you.
Покажешь, ну ладно. Так, ну и все.
Good. I think that's about right. We shall speak about it once we get back to France.
Great actions for humanity have been decided by demons for centuries, Louis. They are playing with our destiny. We are their slaves. And it's time for it to stop. By the way, what was Mortimer's project at this conference?
He wants the United States to occupy all the North American territory. France should recover Louisiana and give it to the United States. In that case, the Americans would just have to push west to chase the Spanish from the continent once and for all.
And as Mortimer controls Washington, you may just as well say that it will put him at the head of a world superpower. We should do our utmost to put a stop to Mortimer's plans. But for the time being, there are more pressing matters.
Are you going to tell me why we're here?
There. That's why we are here.
Блин. Опять какая-то неудача, блин. Так, ну мне надо вот это прокачивать. Надо до 5-го уровня прокачаться, чтобы трофей выпал.
Reassure me, we aren't going to have to force that one, are we?
I don't think we're even capable of doing it. You're going to have to find a way to
Трофей
open
двойная
it.
игра.
Why, of course. And what's inside?
Something to vanquish them with?
Perfect. So, how does it open?
We'll need several keys. I found a note from the architect who conceived the mechanism in Mortimer's secret study. We have to first gather 6 objects before we try anything.
Are your 6 objects the keys?
Exactly. We have the Clement III cross, the nails, the Gutenberg Bible, the exegesis of Judas, an armillary sphere, and all we need to match up the dates between the different calendars.
Some nails?
Don't ask me. I'm not the one who made the mechanism, you know. When I arrived, there were already a few of them inserted, so I didn't have to worry about those. On the other hand, I remember seeing some in Mortimer's secret study, behind his nightmare.
In a golden cup? Yes. Yes, I saw them too.
Perfect. It will be easy for you to find them then. You need 3 of them.
Very well.
You remember what to do about the rollers? 1191 to enter, and 6466 to exit.
Of course.
64, 66 надо, блин. Сейчас я запишу, я нафиг не запомню опять нифига. 1191.
Some nails?
Don't ask me. I'm not the one who made the mechanism, you know. When I arrived, there were already a few of them inserted, so I didn't have to worry about those. On the other hand, I remember seeing some in Mortimer's secret study, behind his nightmare.
In a golden cup? Yes. Yes, I saw them too.
Perfect. It will be easy for you to find them then. You need 3 of them.
Very well.
You remember what to do about the rollers? 1191 to enter, and 6466 to exit.
Of course. Why a cross?
Well, I haven't the foggiest idea, but it just so happens that's what you are going to use to activate the mechanism. I found the one Mortimer kept. It belonged to Cardinal Guibert, better known by the name of Pope Clement III.
Perfect. Where is it?
Unfortunately, I've lost it. When I lost my hand, I went dashing out, and it must have fallen from my pocket.
Remember, Mother. I'm certain you can remember.
Let me think.
You were running.
I was bleeding to death.
You remember the pain.
I thought I was going to faint. Yes, I remember. I don't think it can be far, can it?
Блин,
You
я здесь
lost it outside?
подбирала.
No, I don't think so. It must be in the area. I don't remember going up with it.
Perfect. I'll search the crypt before leaving.
Привет. Ну, игра, как сказать, типа квеста. Да, ну и детективные такие, да. Детектив тоже подходит.
Exegesis. Anything else?
Did you manage to vanquish the Medusa?
To open the chimney? Yes, absolutely.
So you've already come across it. It's the Bible of Judas that is exposed in the secret room behind the chimney.
Why do they call it an exegesis?
Because that's what it is, and not an apocryphal Bible, strictly speaking. It's the study of a text with a summary, not an actual Bible. Anyway, well done for the Gorgon. You did well. You didn't get tricked by the light bouncing back.
Thanks. Do you think I can take it safely?
We haven't got a choice, Louis. Without it, we won't be able to work out this cursed mechanism.
Так, про Иуду давайте вот это.
There's one in the portrait gallery.
That's right.
You still believe it's in the tower room, don't you?
I don't know. There is only one way to find out, though.
Right. I shall go and see. There's one in the portrait gallery.
Yes, but it's enormous. If you don't want to have to go back and forth several times, then I suggest you get a smaller one.
What did you do then?
I didn't think I'd need one. I started without one, and I lost my hand before I did need one. And you can see the result.
What do you mean by the concordance of dates exactly?
Don't worry about that. We already have them.
Не, ну так
They are
интересно
written
играть,
on
если
the
тебе
back of the
нравится
message I
такой
just
жанр,
gave you.
прям нормально, здорово. Ну, тут всякие интриги, и кто-то руку отрубил.
One last thing before you go.
Это его
Be very
мама.
careful. If you come across anyone, they can all potentially be
У них
spies of
орден.
Mortimer or Holm.
Ну,
Don't
не
ever
тамплиеров,
confide in
конечно, но
anyone
типа
because
того.
a demon can slip inside them at any moment.
Wait, not all of them though. Take Washington.
Especially Washington. He's been conditioned by Mortimer for years. Look at them, for crying out loud. How do you explain their behavior otherwise? The most influential politicians in the Western world gather together without the least protection, without a single aid to assist them, to participate in a conference during which the guests start dropping like flies. Me, Adams, Peru, Hillsborough. Look at the number of calamities that have happened over the past few days. And not one of them has asked to leave the island? Do you find that normal? You'll see. Go up to the manor to look for the keys, and I wager not one of them will speak to you about my being in Emily's room.
Do you think so?
Go on, you'll see. And come back with all the objects in one go. Time is against us. And remember, the code to get out of the secret office is 6646.
Да все, я уже записала даже. Так, вот эти открываем. Эти не можем еще открыть. Ладно, погнали. Так, ну-ка, что-то с навыками. Вообще боевая, не говори. Так, какие гвозди? Хорошо, что есть это. Ну, напоминание, что нужно найти список, то есть. Так, здесь где-то ключ, она сказала, лежит в склепе.
A devil's thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits. Honey, I couldn't have hoped for better.
Так, а что это такое?
Tell me, Mother, you wouldn't know anything that might save me some time, would you?
That's where you'll have to put the Clement III cross. You insert the cross into the slot, and it will open the iris. You ought to go, Louis. If someone finds us here, the situation might well become seriously complicated.
What on earth is that? A disc with information engraved in the metal? An iris that should open, I imagine, in blood.
There are Roman numerals, Arab numbers, and town names.
Go on. I'm listening. What do you think?
Tell me, I imagine that once we've solved this enigma, the iris opens, right?
Exactly.
Mother? The dried blood. There.
Yes, it's mine. Sorry if I stained everything, but I must admit that, at the time, my thoughts were more on the pain than cleaning up after myself.
Did you succeed in opening this iris?
Yes, by putting the cross on the console and the 3 nails on the disc, the iris opens. It gives access to a hole where I put my hand, thinking I could fully open the iris. There's a handle at the bottom, and as you can see, it didn't turn out very well for me.
Жесть. Так, здесь ключ какой-то. Мед.
A Byzant from the Byzantine Empire, a coin often used during the St. Louis era.
Famous cross of Clement III.
Perfect. And one key found.
Блин, прикольно. Так, ну допустим, где Библию я поняла, где гвозди. Остальное-то где взять? Сферу толкования, не знаю где. Ну ладно, найдем, что нам. Да, она тут и лишилась руки. Я, видишь, не знала, я думала, там, ну, эти ее вражины руки лишили, а показалось, что да, здесь. Так, здесь лабиринт у нас. Так, подождите, то есть нам нужно в зал собраний. А, ну как раз сюда.
Chronicles of the Amber Princes. As I recall, Dorkin was my favorite character.
Блин, нифига не сюда я пошла. Нам сюда надо, на третий этаж, получается. А, ну вот это, чтобы навыки применять, нужны эти ромбы. То есть, допустим, чтобы там, ну, получить ответ на какой-то вопрос, нужно использовать вот эти ячейки, ну, с ромбами. Вот. Что-то стоит там 2 ячейки, 1 ячейку, что-то 4 ячейки, что-то 3. Так что эти ромбы нужно постоянно, ну, заполнять, как бы. А заполняются не мед надо находить такие там, ну, типа баночки с медом. Так, похоже, выше нам нужно. А, вот. Сюда, на третий этаж. То есть прямо надо пробежать. Да, он медоед. Точно, он медоед. Любит медком побаловаться. Да, все правильно, мы пришли. Или нет? Подождите. Так, эту картину мы смотрели. А, ну да. Сейчас здесь на педальку надо нажать.
Right. This time, it'll be a lot quicker. If I remember rightly, the code was 1191.
Блин, я уже... Блин. Заходим. Так, здесь нам гвозди надо взять. Может, и сфера здесь? Не знаю, сейчас посмотрим. Сфера не знаю где, кстати.
Of course.
Devil's Thorn. I'll keep it.
И корица.
It's locked. Mortimer's plan succeeds, the United States will indeed double in size. It would mean the end of the Spanish presence in North America.
Так, Библия в башенной комнате. Так, что там было написано?
Weaknesses of the Human Psyche by Gilhelm Trimor. Gilhelm Trimor. Trimor. An anagram of Mortimer. Wow. Arrogant enough to publish writings on mental control. Full view of everyone. I wonder who he's writing for.
Так, добавлю ячейки. Так, гвозди где-то здесь, мне кажется, лежали. А, в кабинете. Здесь сфера получается. А гвозди в кабинете. Блин, точняк. Я в кабинете их видела. Гвозди. Так, это этот микроскоп.
Van Leeuwenhoek microscope? The most sophisticated microscope there is. When I think of the difficulty the Order had in getting hold of one of these...
Так, это про банк, что они собираются открыть.
There.
А, вот гвозди.
Those are the nails I was looking for.
Нормально.
I noticed they were old and rusty, but I hadn't noticed these traces of... Could that be blood? Is it really the relic of the Holy Cross? I can hardly believe it.
Так, гвозди получили, это хорошо.
A hand of tarot cards. emperor, a symbol of power and stability. Temperance, which expresses a reward. And the chariot, now that evokes triumph. If this hand is anything to go by, Mortimer's destiny promises to be glorious.
Ну да.
Mortimer's interested in black magic. If Mortimer really is a demon, I wonder what he could be doing with all this.
Так, крест нашли, гвозди нашли. Так, а сфера, подождите, сфера-то где? А, толкование Иуды.
Looks like obsidian or onyx. It must weigh a ton. What on earth could that be? Feathers, pigeons probably. Who could Mortimer have locked in there? Who could Mortimer have locked in there?
Блин, ну где это толкование Иуды? А, тайная комната, наверное, не здесь, а вот это, может? Нет?
Map of Europe. Someone's written 26 million in
За
France.
картиной галереи, это же не за картиной галереи. Так, толкование Иуды. Тайная комната. А, в портретной галерее. Что, мать?
The map of Europe. Someone's written 26 million in France. Weaknesses of the Human Psyche by Gilhelm Trimor.
Выйти.
All right, come on. Let's get out of here. 6466, if I remember correctly.
А даже не надо было крутить. Он сам.
Devil's Thorn. I'll keep it.
Пригодится. Так, Библия где? Подождите. Библия. Башенная комната. Ну, сейчас глянем. Ага.
Ah, Louis. Glad you're here.
Blasted. He's gonna talk about my mother.
Come and see what I've found. There are pieces of paper in the ashes of the chimney. Someone's been burning something here.
Incredible. He doesn't seem to want to speak to me about what happened between my mother and the Hillsborough sisters.
Show me a little.
Look, it's possible to distinguish two different writing styles.
The rest of the correspondence between my mother and Emma.
Someone tried to burn an exchange of messages. I'm certain. There must be more.
Shit. What on earth is he doing?
If you want my opinion, a servant must have burnt some old papers. That's all.
Why, of course. You very nearly made me think that you were trying to hide something, Louis.
Блин.
No, I'm sure there must be other hidden messages.
He won't let go. He's going to work his way back to the Bible if he continues.
Блин, я не посмотрела его устойчивость. Где Библия? Вот она.
The Bible's still there.
Что-то вообще темно стало как-то.
Hey, look, there.
No, I don't see anything.
Come, Louis, look. Someone's clearly drawn a 4 in the dust. I have a clue.
He's going to be disappointed when he sees the Bible's disappeared.
Так, картинная галерея. Ну, музычка заиграла, да. А, вот она, портретная галерея. Ага, тайная комната там. Надо спуститься, значит, мне. Так, здесь. Да. Что там у меня, какой эпизод-то? 3-й или уже 4-й? Что-то я подзабыла. Какой у нас эпизод-то? Ну, блин, ну ладно. Не туда побежал. Ладно, пофиг. Ну да, то получается толкование, да. И вот еще мне нужно эту сферу. Где сфера, я не знаю. Там здесь просто присесть можно. Ну-ка. А сфера, поди, тоже вот где-то здесь.
Right. It's definitely an armillary sphere, but I have to find one that I can take with me. Otherwise, I risk drawing too much attention to my comings and goings. Now, where can I find a smaller one? Right. It's definitely an armillary sphere, but I have to find one that I can take with me. Otherwise, I risk drawing too much attention to my comings and goings.
Ладно,
Now,
поищем.
where can I find a smaller one?
Теперь я поняла, какая она должна быть.
Right. Let's see if the statues are in place yet.
А я же уже вроде здесь вставила статуэтки эти.
The lantern is already in the right position, turned toward the shield.
Ага.
Shield toward the sword. Well, that's good. The statue is already in the right place.
Да, я здесь ставила.
That statue is not positioned correctly.
Все.
Open sesame.
Так, здесь у нас толкование, да? Сейчас
So
заберем.
that's Pandora's box? An urn? Mother seemed worried that I was able to open it. I wonder why. Never mind.
Да,
Now it's too
матушка
late.
тоже темная лошадка, блин. Так, толкование. Ага, точняк.
So that's the exegesis of Judas. I hope Mortimer doesn't read it very often. Otherwise, he's going to notice that someone's stolen it. But that's just too bad. I need it.
Так, теперь сфера нужна.
Hey, Mortimer's the author of
Так, отлично.
this work. He talks about his passion for art.
Caesar's laurel wreath. If Mortimer really is what my mother says he is, it could mean... No, that's impossible. No, not Caesar.
Well, looks like a pamphlet on different political regimes, written by Mortimer himself.
And given all the relics preserved here, it wouldn't surprise me if Mortimer claimed it was Excalibur. The Ring of the Nibelungs. Even if Mortimer is several centuries old, I don't see what part he has in this legend.
Так, это выход уже. Ну, здесь сферы нет. Пометка Сары. Что за пометка Сары?
Right. I've got what I need. And let's not waste any more time.
Давайте здесь, может, где-то будет.
Celia. That name means nothing to me.
Right. It's definitely an armillary sphere, but I have to find one that I can take with me. Otherwise, I risk drawing too much attention to my comings and goings. Now, where can I find a smaller one?
Блин, я реально не знаю, где сферу эту найти. Так, а чё? А, ну мы там были только что. Зал трофеев. А, да, к Вашингтону, спасибо. Спасибо. Так, подожди. Так, мы на каком этаже? Нам выше надо, да, подняться? Так, ну побежали. Вашингтон где-то. А, он там стоял, что ли? Внизу? А я думала, к нему в комнату надо. Так, подожди-ка. Ладненько, спасибо, сейчас. Я не увидела его просто там. А где он, возле какой картины? А, блин. Все, я поняла. Там, где Библия лежала. Он там же стоял. Все, все, все. А Библия у нас где лежала? Бля, я не помню. В башенной комнате, все. Нужно. Все поняла. Блин, в другую сторону понеслась. Не, нифига не в другую. Блин, запуталась уже здесь. Я прям топографический кретинизм где-то. Подождите. Здесь? Да.
Hey, look, there.
No, I don't see anything.
Come, Louis, look. Someone's clearly drawn a 4 in the dust. I have a clue.
He's going to be disappointed when he sees the Bible's disappeared.
Да, конечно, нифига он мне не сказал про сферу.
Dante's paradise. Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our rays.
Пометка Сары. Что за пометка Сары? Блин. Спасибо. Ну, на шкафчике. А, вот она стоит. Ага.
The alchemist is a young man. A chest locked with a 4-letter code. Surely a word close to the owner's heart.
Ну-ка, сейчас попробую сама открыть. Что, не открывается так, что ли? А, Яндекс помог, круто. Так, а здесь как же открыть-то? Царь не подходит.
A chest locked with a 4-letter code. Surely a word close to the owner's heart.
Не подходит. Блин, Не подходит. Эх. Ну, блин.
If I'm not mistaken, Paracelsus named the element called zinc.
Так, ладно, берем сферу. Что тут еще есть? О, мед есть, отлично. Медоед. Медоед.
Golden elixir. Amber.
Сколько всего монет этих? Мне надо все монеты для ачивки собрать. Если на платину иду.
An armillary sphere. Perfect. That will save me some time. I only hope that he isn't going to realize it right away.
Так, все, да, нам к матушке надо топать. Опять в склеп или куда? Ага. Так, 1 минуту, звонят. Сейчас я переговорю быстро. Так, ну погнали дальше. Так, встретись. Выйти отсюда надо. Так, это наверх. А нам надо вниз с вами. 1 минуту, блин, звонят.